In the dark where the strange things flicker, Jennifer Hicks takes you in a little deeper.
Cryptids, UFOs, stories that chill, the truth's out there, and she's got the thrill. Welcome to Creepy Culture,
Where the unknown comes alive.
Hey, it's Jen. Welcome to Creepy Culture. Thank you for being here. And tonight I'm very happy to have Bryan Bohall on. Hi, Bryan. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? And hey, I love the song. You got like your name in it and everything. That's pretty rad.
I thought it was pretty cool. Mike made that for me from Monsters Unleashed. He's really good at that stuff. So I'm thankful he did that for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing good, but I'm really happy to have you here, and I can't wait to hear your experiences with the paranormal and stuff. So,
Yeah.
so Bryan's with Paramigos Paranormal, and he's on
Yeah.
what? Go ahead. You're on Facebook. And
Yeah, I'm with I started a paranormal group. It started about 8 years ago. It was I had a near death experience. I had a stroke and I should have died. Basically, I was having issues. I was in the emergency room and I looked at the doctor running towards me, and I knew something was wrong. And I saw a flash of lightning, and that's the last thing I remember until about a day later. I woke up, and my wife will tell you that ever since that happened, I've been an alien. This is what she's always said. I was not into the paranormal. I was not into any of that stuff. I don't know if it's the stroke or what, but it just a switch went on in my head, and ever since then, I've been all things paranormal. I am not so much into the cryptids and the aliens, but I do have a Bigfoot story, and I did want to go into that since that's kind of your fan base, right?
right.
So when I was a kid, I must have been about 13 years old. My dad was the kind of guy, he didn't like to go camping where other people were camping. We always had to go to like 9,000 feet. Okay. And we would, he liked to fish. I was not a fisherman. I am not an outdoorsman at all. I'm a true Californian. Okay. But we always camped by this one stream in this one spot. And one night we kind of slept by the fire, but the fire was kind of burning just to embers, right? And my dad's just snoring away. He'd been drinking beer and fishing all day long. And I hear this noise. I like I said, I'm not an outdoorsman, okay? Could it have been a bear? Yeah, it could have been a bear. But it was loud and it was really high pitch. And I've seen some of those Bigfoot shows, and it sounded real similar to the recordings that they broadcast, those high pitch but guttural sound, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of shaking in my boots, right? So I had like a little Swiss Army knife, right? So I pull it out, and I'm in my fart sack, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And so it happened again, and it was closer, and it was on what I'd say on the other side of the creek. Kind of, I guess it was walking down a mountain, right? And I'm starting to get really freaked out. And the next thing that happens is I hear bipedal footsteps walking in the creek.
Oh no.
And I'm shaking in my boots. I'm trying to wake my dad up. My dad won't wake up. And this thing, I never saw it, but it was at least 15 feet away from us. And I could smell something horrid, just almost like death. And then it just disappeared. And bears don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Bears don't just disappear, but it just there was no more sound, no smell, just boom, gone. I had my head covered, so I couldn't see if there, because I've heard sometimes that there's orbs above Bigfoot sometimes,
Yeah.
things like that. So I didn't see any lights or orbs or anything like that. But that's my Bigfoot story. It just scared the crap out of me.
That one scared me too. And that's typical Bigfoot thing, the smell, them disappearing. Of course, you can't mistake the bipedal walking either. So,
Yeah.
and they could swim.
I assume they can, right?
Mhm.
And one
Yep.
thing that I found interesting with and I'm kind of trying to validate this because I fly drones all the time. Okay, I understand they're using drones to clear to hunt for Bigfoot now. Is that true?
Using drones with FLIR to look for Bigfoot.
With thermal vision.
Yeah, people do that. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean that would seem like a pretty good way to hunt for Bigfoot.
Absolutely.
Because you could cover way more territory. You're not sitting there banging on trees with sticks, etc. I think it's like when I ghost hunt, I use a lot of different types of equipment, right?
Mhm.
So it's kind of cool that community is like thinking outside the box.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen any FLIR footage?
I have.
Bigfoot?
And
Yeah.
like I was telling you earlier, I don't know if it
Mhm.
was for real or AI. The AI's got everything
Yeah.
so jacked up now. You can't tell if somebody really caught something or if they're AI in it, unfortunately. But I have seen several videos of what looked like the shape of a Bigfoot. Yes,
Mhm.
I
Okay.
have. I just don't know if it was real or not. I was hoping it was, but I don't know.
All right. So basically, in paranormal investigating, my best friend and we decided we were going to start ghost hunting, right? And
Mhm.
I think the first thing that we bought was a digital recorder and a K2, right? And I don't know if you're familiar with what a K2 is, but it's a little box. See if I had one laying around here. I don't. It's a little device. It picks up on EMF,
Mhm.
and basically it's got a range of lights, right? So the more EMF you pick up on, the more lights you get. And we started watching Ghost Adventures, right? Because that's how we we wanted to be like those guys, right?
Right.
Um, so our favorite episode was the Armagosa Hotel. It's in Death Valley, okay,
Mhm.
which is about 6 hours from here. And we decided we were going to stay at that hotel and we were going to ghost hunt. And when I first started ghost hunting, my buddy who really liked to drink beer, right? So we didn't get too much accomplished. We were more into the drinking the beer part at first. And then, as we kind of got more into it, we realized there was something to this stuff. And so we took it way more seriously. All right. But we went to the Armagosa Hotel and we were armed with a digital recorder and a K2. And basically it's a hotel with a opera house in it in the middle of the desert, and there's absolutely nothing around it for at least 10 miles. Um, and we stayed there, and we didn't get anything, but we didn't know what we were doing yet, right?
Right.
So it took us a while to figure out how to communicate, how to, use the detector to kind of find hot spots, etc. It was a work in progress, and we before my buddy died, and he died in 2021. Um, we went to quite a few locations out in the desert in Nevada. We went to the Clown Hotel. I think everybody's pretty familiar with that in Tonopah, Nevada. We stayed at the Mizpah. Um, we've been to several locations before he passed away. Unfortunately, he did pass away, and the ghost hunting kind of got put on hold for a while. I brought on another member who was an old friend from high school that's really into it, Evan, and then we have Benji now. And there's a long story between that, but basically, I didn't start getting anything, and I think I sent you this one. I started hearing about this there's a place about 45 minutes from my house. It's a cemetery in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of this field, and there's nothing around it for at least 20-25 miles. Okay. Um, and so I went out there, and I'm walking around, and I've got an SB7 spirit box. Okay, so that's that thing that goes right, and you'll hear
Right.
voices.
Hmm.
I'm running it on reverse, okay, in AM. So if you hear anything in a sentence, well, that box, the frequencies are running backwards. So it's a spirit, okay? And so I'm reading the names. I'm not even saying anything. I'm recording it with a recorder. And all of a sudden, the thing says my name.
I do have that one.
And maybe you want to show that. Do you think you can bring that up right now?
Yep, I can. Just a second.
Okay.
I'm due. Just bear with me.
Yeah, it's all good.
One sec. I do have that right here.
That thing just said Bryan Bohall. 1899. That thing just said Bryan Bohall.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I ever captured. And since I captured that, I mean, I pretty much ghost hunt every weekend. Okay. Because once you get that kind of evidence, it's like, dude, and I'd say probably 60% of the people that hear it, they hear my name. I hear Bryan Bohall. And so that's 6 stations going in reverse, but you hear my name in real time. That's amazing. You know?
It is. That's why I played it twice. I'm like, I got to hear that again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you know, I've been to a lot of locations, but mainly in the Southwest. I don't like to fly. I think you and I were talking about that before the show. I just really, I don't like to fly. I don't like dealing with being a number and have to, you know, poked and prodded and all that stuff. So I drive wherever I go. So I'm stuck, you know, Nevada, Arizona, California. That's pretty much it. But I've been to the Goldfield Hotel. I have investigated there, and it was it was one of those things where you pay to, you know, ghost hunt with a celebrity. Nick Groff was there he used to be in Ghost Adventures, and it was cool to meet him. But unfortunately, you go to this place, it's super haunted, and you have like 75 people in the building ghost hunting, right? You normally don't get any evidence when that's the case. You know, I would have loved to have gone the next day and ghost hunted after everybody left, because, you know, there's a belief that the spirits feed off the energy that fear or excitement or whatever. So it would have been really exciting to go there the next day. But unfortunately, I couldn't do that. But to say that you ghost hunted there, that's pretty cool, because not many people have been in that place. Okay. But when I ghost hunt, we try and keep it pretty simple. We usually, I don't know if you've ever seen Ghost Hunters.
I have.
Okay, so our style is pretty similar to those guys. Okay, we'll go in and we take, you know, our EMF detectors, tri-fields, etc., and we go through and we try and find hot spots in the area. Okay. We usually go in there as blind as possible about the history of the place, just so we can try and get as much, so our minds aren't clouded. We're open to what's there, and we try and figure it out ourselves, right?
Right.
So going in blind, I think, is a good way to do it. Okay, and then if we get hot spots, we immediately get out our digital recorders and we try and establish some type of contact. And that's usually how we do a baseline. And then from there, we'll come up with ideas and experiments that we want to do, you know, to basically do a full-on investigation. Okay, and we got everything. We've got nerve centers. We got a nerve center set up. We got cameras everywhere. You name it, we got it. The only thing I don't have, I think, is an obulus. I don't have one of those, but you know, we just figured out cater to the house, right? We've One of the most interesting things I've done to this date, I had a lady call me and say that she's on her third husband. The other two husbands passed away, and they think that there's some Indian spirits out in their orchard, their almond orchard. So we went out there, and first off, I interviewed the lady. Before I said anybody else went out there, I just interviewed her. I wanted to hear what she had to say, and she basically told me that when her family moved to the area, there's a lot of farming and agriculture here. But unfortunately, in order to do that, you have to kind of level everything out. And she said when her family did that, they found Indian artifacts.
Oh.
So it could have been a burial site. I asked her if she could show me any of that kind of stuff, and she couldn't produce anything. So I couldn't validate that, right? And
Mhm.
as a ghost hunter, I constantly try and validate things. Like if I got, say, an EMF reading, I'll take a different type of EMF detector and see if I get the same thing, right? I'm always like trying to validate anything I do. So make a long story short, she built a house out there, and the first night she was there, she saw a shadow figure come into her room and stand at the foot of her bed, and then just disappeared. And so she said that she's seen a man looking in the windows. It kind of looked like the Joker. So she called it the Joker. She said she's seen huge shadow figures out in their almond orchard, just walking around. Uh, and so I was like, all right, we'll come and check this out. I don't know if I believe her, but what's really strange was I took an EMF detector and I walked through her entire house. And I've never had this happen before, but my EMF meter was pegged the whole time I walked through the entire house.
Oof.
And I could feel something. I could feel an energy, right?
Hmm.
And I found that very interesting. So I left. I set up a time when we could bring our empath out. Okay. And basically, our empath, Leslie, we blindfolded her. She had no idea where she's going. We just picked her up. And when we drove her out there and took the blindfold off and said, okay, tell us what you pick up on. And she said that she picked up on a burning building. Well, when I interviewed the lady, she talked about how their like what do you call it? I'm having a brain fart. Their barn burned down. So
Oh, wow.
the correlation there, right? She picked up on a big man, a big dark man that's out in the orchard. She picked up on a little boy and a little girl in the house hiding from the big man out in the orchard. And I was like, wow, okay. So what we try and do, we couldn't, there's no way we could validate the burning barn, right? So we went through the orchard, and it was dark as night. We didn't have any IR at the time. We just wanted to walk through it at night and see if we saw anything dark. And with our own eyes, all three of us could see things darting between the bushes.
Oh.
And they were darker than dark, darker than night.
Hmm.
And all three of us saw it. So we found that pretty interesting. We went inside the house and we did uh, we just took our digital recorders and we're doing a burst session. So a burst session, for people that don't know ghost hunting, it's where you ask about 4 or 5 questions. Okay, you say like, okay, who's the president? You wait a few seconds, then you ask another question, right? And then you play it back and see if you got any responses. Well, immediately we got a response from a little girl and an old man. I don't remember exactly what they said. We got quite a few EVPs, and then the little boy said, "Go out to the stairs." I said, "Okay." So I went out to the stairs and I set a cat ball. Cat ball is that little, clear ball that you push the button and it can light up, right? And cats
Hmm.
play with it. Well, we can kind of use those as a REM pod, so to say. And I set it on the stairs and I asked the little boy, "Can you make this cat ball light up?" It lit up immediately.
That's cool.
It turned off. I said, "Can you make that cat ball light up again?" It lit up again. So I took out another cat ball. I said, "Can you light both these cat balls?" It kept on lighting up. Whatever. We put REM pods. It lighted up. But basically, from the conversation we had with the spirit, they said that there's a bad man out in the orchard. Well, this woman that lived there, her third husband is dying of cancer. All three of the husbands died in some mysterious death. Um, and I found that kind of interesting. So I talked to a friend of mine who's a Navajo medicine man, and I kind of explained the situation because there's no more I could do to help these people other than we validated some things. So if anybody's going to help her, I got to get somebody that knows Native American type stuff. And he said that what it is it's because they desecrated their burial grounds. There's a spirit there, and it's most likely an elemental, okay, which is a very ancient type of spirit, and it's going to keep on killing her husbands and making her life hell until she, somehow fixes, the issue with, messing with the grays. And as long as their family's there, they're going to have problems. So I tried to arrange something so he could maybe go out and help her. I don't know if that ever actually happened, but I did everything I could for her. And I found that pretty interesting.
I was getting ready to ask you if the bad thing out in the orchard is what was causing her husband to die, but you answered that.
I'm sure that that's probably the elemental that
Mhm.
she was seeing. Okay. I think she was kind of gifted as well. She had gifts. There's a lot of things that the family, each member of the family, because there were kids. I never got to interview the kids because they were all grown and gone away. But from the story she told me, they all saw different things, but it was all basically a dark figure of some sort. And it just manifested in different ways to the way their brains perceived it,
Yeah. And
you know,
I definitely know what you mean when you say darker than dark, because
yeah.
the shadow people I used to see, you could clearly see them in the dark. Like there was no.
Tell me your story, because I haven't heard it, and I think it'd be interesting to hear it, if you don't
um
mind.
just when I was little, I had these two shadow people. That's what I call them. I don't know what they were really, but they
Mhm.
used to come in my room, and I would just wake up, and I'd be laying in bed, and one would be on the left and one would be on the right, hovering above my face, like 20 inches above my face. And they didn't have any features at all. It was just silhouettes. And their heads were kind of cone shaped, but not like a rounded cone, not like pointy. And they just stared at me. And I remember I couldn't move, and I could never yell for my mom. I think I was so scared, like my voice was like when I yelled for my mom, it would just come out like a whisper. And I didn't ever say anything about them. And I saw them till I was like 12.
Hmm.
And I asked my brother one time, his room was next to mine. And I asked him if he ever saw anything weird. And he said, like, what? And he confirmed that he saw them too walking down the hallway. So,
No way.
yep, they never came in his room. They were coming in my room. But
But he
uh,
saw them going into your room.
he saw them go down
Wow.
the hallway towards my room. Um, the thing, which I'm glad he told me, and I'm glad I said something, because after I got older, I learned about sleep paralysis, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, do I have sleep paralysis?" But I clearly don't. If my brother saw the same thing, so that's my shadow people. So that I saw them. They scared me to death. I don't even know what they were or nothing.
They never said anything to you. They were just there.
They just
Huh.
they would just be hovering over my face, and they did it for years, off and on. And
Goodness
it was
gracious.
it terrified me. I'm like traumatized from it for real.
Right. Right.
So.
Wow.
Mhm.
Ay, ay, ay.
And those are darker than the dark, because my dad wouldn't let us have a nightlight or anything.
What?
And
What?
yeah, he's military. He was real strict, and he was all about unplug everything because it can catch on fire and that type of thing. So when I tell you my room was dark and I could see them in the dark because they were
Mhm.
darker than the dark, I mean that. They were pitch black, like they were dark, and you could see them plain as day. So,
Wow.
mm-hmm.
So let's see. I sent you a video.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell the story behind it. Let me grab something real quick.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see this. Okay. So I have this device here. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it, but we'll do our best here. Okay, so this device is an SLS, okay? So a structured light sensor camera, but it also has LiDAR on it, okay? And this was made by Jeff Conkle from Ghost Adventures. He's a friend of mine. He makes me crazy stuff, man. This device is pretty cool, but I sent you a video with an orb on it. Can you show that one?
Yeah, let me grab it. Just a second. I can't tell which one. I think this is the one. I hope this isn't the wrong video.
It's like black and white.
I think this is it. Here, I'm going to play it. Just hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Just listen to this. It's a fact after.
Can you see that? Coming up?
Is that the right one?
No, but that's all right. That's actually me hunting with Jeff. Okay, and let me tell you something. If you ever want to catch EVP, go to a salon, a hair salon. Okay.
Really?
I've got more EVP and stuff in hair salons than you can. I mean, it's like night and day. Like they're the most haunted damn places. And I think it's because of all the gossip that happens in them.
Really?
I really do. He told me about this hair salon, and basically what he told me was, he's like, dude, this lady was getting her hair done, and all of a sudden she just lifted up out of her seat.
Oh, wow.
And hovered for like 5 seconds and then went down. And then they have stuff flying across the room like all the time. And I said, well, let's go check it out, you know? So we go there, and there's nobody else in the building but us. We start, and we're not getting anything right. And so Jeff, he likes to smoke. So we went outside and we're smoking a cigarette, right? He's smoking a cigarette. I don't smoke. And we hear all this banging and booming inside this salon. I mean, we hear things moving around. We open the door. Everything's right where it was. Nothing happened. We had cameras running. Nothing moved. Close the door again, and literally you can audibly hear things moving around, threshing around, but nothing. And there's 2 businesses next to it, but they were both closed and nobody is inside of them. You know? Mm-hmm. So we go back inside, and that's where this video comes up. And he pulls out this digital recorder that they use on the TV show all the time. And this thing says some stuff, and it's pretty scary sounding. So you mind playing it?
Is that the one I just showed on accident?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Just listen to this. It's a fact after.
Can you see that? Coming up? Is it recording?
That.
It is recording, right?
And that.
Okay.
And now watch. What? Did you hear that? It was what?
Did you fucking just hear, dude?
I definitely heard
you can hear, there's a disembodied voice behind him making noise.
Uh-huh.
And then you hear this.
I heard it. And I did hear like what?
Yeah. But you could hear a disembodied voice behind him. Like someone's talking. You can't make out what they're saying, but it's just, I've ran into a lot of weird stuff with Jeff. Great ghost hunter, but it's funny. Like when he gets something, he always goes, "Oh, dude!" So it's kind of funny. It's kind of like if you ever watch Ghost Adventures, you hear like Aaron and just carrying on. It's just like ghost hunting with them. I know a lot of people don't like Zach and etc. I mean, I get it. I understand that he kind of, makes TV out of everything. But I do know that those guys, when they investigate, they are great investigators, and they're very serious about what they do. But I know they embellish a little bit with the stories at the beginning, the history, and they kind of rubbed a lot of people wrong. But that ain't Jeff. That's more, from what I understand, it's Zach. And like I said, Jeff's my buddy. So
Right.
but there's a black and white video that I
I'm
sent
looking
you.
for it. I'm looking for it. Just give me 1 second. You
That's
can
all
keep
good.
talking. I'm gonna go
For sure.
in Messenger and see if I can.
Yeah.
Is it in a bedroom?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I have that. Let me
Okay. So while she's loading that up, I'll kind of show you here with a flashlight this device. So you got the SLS, the sensor, you got the LiDAR, and then you got a screen here, right? And I always put this thing on a tripod because it's really, really heavy. And so, and the tripod's got rollers on it, so you can roll it around. And I've captured some pretty cool things with the SLS. Some people don't have a lot of faith in them, but I can tell you this: they do work. They work really well. But with this device, well, I don't want to get into LC stuff yet. So, do you got that video or?
Yeah, I think it just downloaded. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah.
It's uploading right now, so it's processing. So in just a second, I'll be able to show it to everybody.
Cool.
I don't know why it didn't download with the rest of them. It looks like
so
only.
If any of these stories that I tell, if any of this stuff interests you, I have a YouTube page. It's called Paramigos. Okay. It's 2 G's in the middle, not 1. There's like 80 videos there. You can check out our stuff. We've got some pretty cool evidence.
This is cool too. I got it downloaded. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Okay.
Yeah, go for it. Just play it one more time. Again. Okay, so basically what happens is this device is sitting up on that dresser. I just had it sitting there. I was testing out my nerve center. And so I was just testing to make sure everything runs right. I was not even ghost hunting or anything. I don't ghost hunt at all in my house ever. I'll test out cameras, but that's it. So I just had, cameras set up here and there for the shits and giggles of it. Well, that device, which is this one right here, which I've taken ghost hunting, I don't know how many times. There's an orb that comes out of that device. Okay. And it's not a bug. If you ever see bugs kind of move around and meander, and they're not flying that direct. Okay. That thing shoots out of this device and comes from nowhere like a laser. So do you mind showing it one more time?
Yes.
And I'll kind of walk through it.
Okay. I think it mutes your mic, but hold on.
Yeah. So if you notice to the right up top, there was a bug. Okay. That's what they look like. They don't look like that orb.
Totally different.
I've showed that to tons of people, and I get about a 50-50 response. Everybody just says it's a bug, or they said, holy shit, that's an orb. And what I find interesting about orbs is people are like, well, that's just nonsense. I honestly think that when we die, our energy, it still lives on. I have different theories, but I think basically we become orbs. I mean, if you think about it, before we're, basically you're an egg to begin with, right? And it gets fertilized, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
little round thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you die, who's to say you don't become an orb? We live on a planet that's round, right? Kind of similarity, I'm just saying. It's call me crazy, call me what you want, but I do believe orbs are real, and I do believe they're spirits.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And can I play that one more time? Because you can definitely tell
sure.
the difference. You can see it plain as day come right where that machine is.
It comes right out of the handle, which I don't have the handle on here now because I have it on a tripod, but it's basically comes from right here.
Yeah, I gotta see that one more time.
Yeah. The laser or some crap like that. It's not a laser pointer. To be honest with you, I just happened to be going through that footage just for the hell of it, and I found that, and I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's get to Elsie's place. I'll go a little bit more into this device here. So we brought Leslie's. Well, I have a friend that owns a haunted Airbnb. It's called Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home. It's in Jackson, California. It's about 3 hours here from where I live. It's about, I'd say about an hour from Sacramento. So it's kind of like in between Sacramento and Reno, right? Jackson is gold country. So there was a lot of mining and a lot of mining towns. And, there's a lot of history between those mining towns and they killed people just to steal gold from them or whatever. There's all kinds of history. Well, this house that she bought it not knowing that it was haunted. And after she signed the paperwork, she was just walking through the house by herself, and a door slammed all by itself in front of her. And she's like, holy crap. And she happens to be really good at doing, looking up historical things, and she's really good. Like anytime I need some historical facts or whatever, I go to her because she's really good at it. Well, we did our first investigation of the house, and we brought Leslie up to walk through it, and she walked through it blindfolded. Okay, told us everything, and then she left. And so me and Evan, my compadre, we walked through the house and we tried to validate what she said. And so one of the things she said was this one closet. She said there was a man hanging in the closet. I said, okay. So I took this device, this SLS device, and I just had it facing the closet. And I shoot you not. I'm trying not to cuss. You could see a man hanging in the closet on this device.
Oh, no.
Literally. You could see rope around his neck, and you could see him hanging there. The other thing she said was that there's men down in the basement, and they're drinking. So I took the device down into the basement. I had the screen record option, as recording. And as soon as I got down there were 4 men, 4 stick figures standing there. And 5 seconds later, they disappeared. Boom.
Oh, wow.
The one room the house at one point was a brothel. Okay. And I shoot you not, we go into one of the rooms and we captured 2 ghosts having sex.
Oh, no.
You could see one ghost laying on the bed with his legs spread, and you could see another one on it kind of moving its butt like this.
Oh, wow.
And I'll find that footage and I'll send it to you because I have it. I actually captured that. But ghosts like to manipulate these devices. And so when I went down in the basement with the 4 figures, it shut my screen record option off. So I could see what was going on, but it shut the record off. I couldn't capture it. That's interesting stuff that we got there. One other thing, I think I sent you one where Elsie is standing in front of a record recorder or record player. If you can, bring that one up.
I can't download that one.
You can't?
It goes into a video like where you can, like a short, or like
Yeah.
a reel, so it won't let me
Okay.
download it. It just lets me share it.
Okay. That's all right. So basically Elsie, you know, she's kind of she's gifted in some
Mhm.
way. I don't really understand how exactly. Like she's she's trying to get training. She's working with people to help her hone her skills, etc. So some of the empaths and stuff that I've worked with, you can ask them, you can call them over the phone, and they can you put their senses where you're at, and they can tell you what's going on. They're really gifted. Elsie, I think, is kind of learning those steps, but she she has one of those old, where you take the thing and you reel it up and it'll play a record. I forget what they're called. Something phone, something dictaphone. I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, she just bought the thing and set it in this room, and there's two ghosts that live in that room. There's a male and a female, and they were married in real life. I don't remember their exact names, but the male served in the Civil War. Okay, and the lady's name is Maggie. I remember that now.
Mhm.
And she never put a record on the player. Well, there was a record on the player, and when we were there, she tells the story of how the one song relates to the guy, and then on the opposite side, the song relates to Maggie. It's called something Maggie.
Mhm.
What we did was we put EMF detectors, in the area, and we played the one side with the male part, and the EMF detectors went off a little bit, right? And so then we played the other side, and I shit you not, when it plays this Maggie song, the EMF detectors lit up all the way, and the
Mhm.
whole time the song was playing. But because you got to reel that thing up, it only played half the song, and so when it stopped playing, the EMF detectors went off. When we jacked it back up, they went up, and then when the song was over, the lights went out.
Mhm.
Crazy stuff.
That is. I thought that video was really cool. Maybe I can link it after after I
Yeah,
upload this.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure, for
It
sure.
was really cool how she explained that. Um, Being the people that used to live there, that was their
Mhm.
names. So that was really cool.
Trying to think of what else I sent you. Kind
I
of
have a
went.
I have that one where you had the voice thing.
Yeah. Okay. So by my house, there's a place that I go quite a bit, and it's an old abandoned school that was built in the late 1800s, and it's called the Old Berinda School. Um, I don't know if anything nefarious ever happened there, but we've gotten a lot of activity there. Thankfully, and I'm going to tell this story real quick. Okay, our newest member, Benji, he lives in the house that's right by it. Okay, it's like on a farm, and then there's a schoolhouse, and there's a house behind it, and he lives in that house. Well, I've been in that house several times, and I never saw a no trespassing sign. If there was one, I wouldn't go in there. I don't break the law, but I never saw one. So I'm ghost hunting in there with my friend, with Evan, and we were having a rough night. We weren't getting a whole lot of activity until uh, about 10 minutes before we decided we were going to just quit ghost hunting. And so, believe it or not, we're using an app. It's called Spirit Talker. Um, Spirit Talker, it's basically like the Obulus. Okay, words will come up with when you ask questions,
Mhm.
and so we're doing it, and we're starting to get some responses. It says something about grandma, and some other things, and I'm like trying to communicate with the spirit. All of a sudden, I hear a gunshot there, and I hear somebody screaming, and I actually have this on video, and I kind of sit there for a second. You're kind of processing, like, what the hell am I going to do, right? And so me and Evan decided, all right, well, we'll get the hell out of here. So we grabbed all our gear and we're walking out to my car, and there's a guy standing there, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. And we're like, "Hey, dude, we don't want to cause any problems. We'll get out of here." He's all, "Wait a minute, are you guys ghost hunters?" We're all, "Yeah, we're ghost hunters." He's all, Oh, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare. I thought you guys were vandalizing the place. I said, we get it, dude. And so we're talking. And he's like, dude, let's go back in there and ghost hunt. So we do. We go in there and ghost hunt, and about not much happened, but there was a correlation between some of the stuff that we're doing and his grandma just died, and it was talking about a grandma. And the other part that I forgot is as we were leaving, to get out of the school and go to my car and put my gear away, the Spirit Talker app said, "Get out now."
Oof. That would have
And
scared
we're
me to
like,
death.
whoa. It's in the video, but anyway, ever since then, Benji's been a part of our team. So we've had a lot of interesting things happen. Now to go to the video, I was ghost hunting there about 4 weeks ago, and I had my son and his friend with me, but they were just kind of looking around. They weren't ghost hunting. I was just doing it by myself, and I always start in this one room where I get a little bit of activity, and I save this last room where you get the most activity for last. And I had an IR light. I use these IR lights from Ghost Stop. Okay, they're really good. They last about 3 hours. They're really bright. And so I only took one light with me because I was only going to ghost hunt for maybe an hour, hour and a half, right?
Mhm.
So anyway, I moved all my gear into the scary room, is what I call it. And all of a sudden, the IR light burns out, and it only been like 45 minutes. These things, I've tested them, I don't know how many times. They last for 3 hours. And I found that kind of strange, right? And so I wasn't recording with the camera, but I had a lavalier microphone on here, so
Mhm.
you can hear really good. So that's rolling. And all of a sudden, I said, oh shit, I can't believe I didn't bring another light, And all of a sudden, right behind me, I feel something. I feel something right behind me, and the
Ew.
hair on my neck just stands up, and I just hear a noise like wah. Okay, and then I kind of process it, and I'm yelling at the kids. I'm like, "Are you guys messing with me?" And then there's two doors that are about 10, 15 feet away. Okay, that you'd walk in and out of the room. That thing makes the same noise outside the two doors. So it just went from one place to another in just an instant. And on that footage, you can go ahead and show that. It kind of explains everything.
And this is the one with just the voice recording, right?
Yeah, it's like the green wave, like
Yep. I just want to make sure I
sound
got the right
signature.
one.
Yeah. Okay, so at the end of the night, I didn't get this on video because right at the start of this recording, I realized that my IR light went out. They usually last about 3 hours. This one only lasted about an hour. And of course, I forgot to bring one with me. And so the beginning of the EVP, or, this recording, you hear me say, oh shit, or something like that. And then that's when I realized I don't have IR anymore, and I can't film in the dark. And so I start doing something with the camera. I was going to hit record, but obviously that wasn't going to happen. And behind me, I heard this voice. At the time, it sounded like a voice. In the recording, it came out different, but it was directly right behind me, and it scared the hell out of me. So I'll just go ahead and play it.
Oh, fuck.
Right here.
The fuck? Is that you guys?
And then there was another noise more towards the door. And you notice here and here are where those sounds are. You can hear me talking. You can see the sound, the waves, and it's not me making that noise. I don't know if here and here is a noise that maybe I didn't hear that the microphone picked up, but it scared the heck out of me. And the boys were nowhere near me.
The fuck? that you guys?
So anyway, call it what you will, say I'm crazy, but let me tell you, it was a lot louder than the way it was recorded, and it was direct right behind me, like literally standing behind me. It scared the heck out of me.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
That scared me to death if I heard that right behind me.
Yeah, and it was so much louder than, I mean, it sounds like a whisper, but it wasn't. It was loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't scare very easy, and you can even tell by the way I react. I was excited and whatnot, but I mean, I didn't go running out of the building. You know what I mean?
I might
But
have ran.
I was a little scared. I mean, for
Mhm.
sure. I think the last story I got for you, in Jackson, there's a place called the Kennedy Mine, and the biggest mining disaster that happened in California happened there. There's about 100 and some odd miners that got trapped inside the mine, and they caught on fire, and they all died. And there's a lot of, I mean, Jackson, man, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I don't know if there's a lot of different beliefs, but there's so many minerals and elements. There's water everywhere, but it's a special place to go ghost hunt. But I had the opportunity to go ghost hunt at the Kennedy Mine, and I contacted them, and the docents they do paranormal tours, but once a year, the last one of the year, they just ghost hunt just by themselves, just all the docents that work there. And I asked them if I could join them. And they said, yeah, So I came out, and there's a building at the mine where where the assay office is, where they like process the gold. And there's like an office where they did the payroll, and then on top there's like when rich people would come and want to see the mine, the owners and whatnot, it was a place for them to stay. And we went up to the third floor, or the third floor where these rooms are, and there was a bedroom there, and there was a mirror. And the person that I was ghost hunting with, she was scrying in front of a mirror. And if you don't know what that is, that's where you're looking at a mirror and you're trying to communicate with spirits. And she was holding 2 dowsing rods. She was communicating with dowsing rods. And so I had my camera on IR, and I'm filming her. And I see, now when it's IR, it's black and white, or it's green and black, one of the two. Okay, the devices I use, it's black and white. I'm filming her, and I see a huge blue orb in IR fly into her back, and I'm like, whoa. And I was kind of stunned, right? And then a few seconds later, I see 2 orange orbs fly into her back, and I can see her kind of jolt a little bit. I'm like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, I felt an energy behind me, like something was trying to enter into my body. And it was like static electricity, but it was like right on my skin, like just, I don't know quite how to explain it, but I could feel like something was trying to get inside of me, and I ran out of that room. And I had to get fresh air. Every time I've been there, something tries to get inside of my body. I don't know if the spirit likes me, or I don't know what the hell it is, but I can't ghost hunt there anymore because of it. It's just every time I go there, that thing is right on me, and it's doing that weird thing,
That's disturbing. That would freak me out, for real.
Yeah. And to see the orbs in color on it's a black and white screen. I mean,
Right.
that's something. So I'm all excited. I go back to my hotel, and the first thing I want to do is to try and, see if I captured it. The SD card was compromised.
Oh.
Yeah. It never, I couldn't, it was completely malfunction. You can't use it for nothing. So
go figure.
It's just,
That happened, and I hear about people, recording stuff, and if there's any kind of energy, no matter what it is, um, it'll drain like batteries and things like that, where their cameras aren't working, or the video doesn't record, or just weird anomalies like that. Weird things like that happen with electronics.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it happens all the time, all the time. Um, yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, but there's something between these spirits, and the devices there to communicate with you very clearly. It seems like the more you go somewhere, the more they're apt to communicate with you. Um, and I don't go to like really really popular places because of that,
Mhm.
because that can also create like a tulpa. I don't know if you're familiar with that term.
Mhm.
But a tulpa is basically like an entity that's created just by all the excitement um, of people being excited and going there and having that energy and thinking that up in their head. They can actually create spirits that way that
Oh
don't
wow!
really exist. And so like you're not going to see me going to like what are the most popular places like the old tuberculosis centers and stuff like that, because
Mhm.
so many people have gone to them. They probably created stuff that just isn't even real because of
Right.
that. Because I am a firm believer in it. I've seen it happen. So, um, you know, but yeah,
I never heard of that. That's interesting that can happen.
yeah. I was thinking of like Waverly Hills. That's the one I was trying to think of. I'll
Hmm.
never go there. I'll never go there. So,
I wouldn't if that can happen, because yeah, I get
and
that.
like prisons, I'm scared to death of prison and jail. To be honest with you, jails I'll go, but not prisons. I will not set foot in one. I'm just no. I have no interest in talking to anything that's been in a damn prison. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right. That might not be a good thing. Um,
Yeah.
are you ever worried about bringing things home with you, or is there something you do to prevent that from happening? Or
Well, I'll tell you this. Okay, this is just my own personal thing. I have these bracelets. Okay,
Mhm.
that I wear. There's no. I don't believe in witch. I mean, I don't do witchcraft, and I don't. I don't. I'm not the type of person that is. I I don't get into all the mantra that a lot of people do in the paranormal world. I try and be as at least as scientifically based as I can. Okay,
Mhm.
but my daughter and my wife make these bracelets for me, and so I wear them. You know, as my belief is that they protect me from the spirits. Um, but as far as bringing something home with me, I've never brought anything home with me. But I'm not out looking for dark stuff. If I do bring anything home with me, it's probably going to be a good spirit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not out looking for demons. I'm not
Mhm.
out looking for the bad stuff. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
I'm out just for looking for. I think when I die, okay, that my spirit is going to roam the earth. I really believe that, and those are the spirits that I'm trying to communicate with.
Right.
Um, so that's my belief. People probably say I'm crazy. Hey, believe what you believe. That's fine. But
Right.
that's my belief. But yeah,
Mhm.
so it's just for protection. It's just based off of love, basically. You
Right.
know.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Probably works well. So I would say it would. And then I was going to ask you something about what that Indian was saying. The native
Oh yeah, Hero is his name.
hero.
Um,
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Did he? You don't know if he ever went and talked to that lady so she could fix that?
no, mm-mm, no. And I tried communicating to her several times afterwards, and she's never talked to me. So I don't know if she got spooked by something. I just don't know. I
All
don't
right.
know. But I did what I could to help her, and that's
Right.
the best you can do.
That's all
You know
you
what I
could
mean?
do. Yeah.
And I've
Man.
had that with people. Some people just they see that they're validated in that they know they're not crazy, that we captured something. So obviously there's something going on there. And I think that's all they need sometimes. You just need to know they're
Oh,
not crazy,
I get you.
you
Yep,
know?
I can see that happening to you.
Yeah.
So, but did you want to add anything else?
As far as the stories, I've got more. That's what I had in my head. I got a
Okay.
lot more video. I'll have to send it to you in a different way next time. But I have an event coming up this weekend. It's going to be in Calaveras, California.
Mhm.
It's called Caliscaris, and Calaveras is an old mining town. It's near Jackson, and we're going to go downtown into the jail and quite a few different areas. It's $30 to get in there and ghost hunt, which is pretty reasonable. Most places want to charge you a lot more than that.
Mhm.
It starts. Let's see here. Got the info. Yeah, it starts at 6 p.m. and it goes till midnight. Um, like I said, it's $30 to get in. You'll be able to ghost hunt with me. Also, my friend Elsie that owns Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home, she'll be there. And we teach people the basics of ghost hunting, and then allow them to use equipment and go to these places and check them out. Um, it'll be fun. I'm looking
That
forward to it.
sounds fun. That would be
Um,
something really cool.
Also, like I said, my page Paramigos, it's 2 G's, not one. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm everywhere. But also, I'm a producer and a co-host for a podcast called Hideous Diversion. So if you're interested in checking that out, the my co-host, he was actually a lead singer of the Misfits for a very short time.
Oh wow.
Um, and so the podcast isn't so much based on paranormal, even though every once in a while we do have some paranormal guests. It's more music related, a little bit of politics. Mike is very opinionated, politics wise, as some people are, but Mike is very opinionated. And he likes to rant and rave a little bit. I'm not so much into politics. But it's an entertaining show. It's growing, like leaps and bounds. And, anybody want to check that out, I'd surely appreciate it. But my passion and my heart is the Paramigos. That is my passion. So,
Right.
and we put videos out quite a bit, and we do capture stuff every time we go somewhere. So,
Yeah, I enjoyed your evidence that you got. That was really cool. I wish I could have played that one video, but it's just like a reel when you click on it, so I couldn't download it. So
yeah. Sorry about that.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
I have stuff in several different places, so but
I'll
yeah,
definitely
just
put
figured
links under this video so people can go to your YouTube and the hideous, what's it called? Diversion.
hideous diversion.
Yeah, I'll put links for that too under here so they can go check them out, and hopefully I can put a link for that video too because I think it's really cool.
Yeah, that'd be great, and I'm sure Elsie would appreciate it too. She's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, she
Like I
seems
said, we got the event coming up this weekend. Also, Gold Country Paracon is another one of Elsie's babies. That's happening in April. It's going to be in Sacramento, California, and there's going to be all kinds of people from the paranormal world there. From what I understand, the Ghost Brothers are going to be there. Lots and lots of celebrities. It's going to be a big event, and we need it here on the West Coast because there are no Paracons out here. I don't know
wow.
why. They seem to all be on the East Coast. But Elsie's trying to do something, and I think she's doing a good job, and I think it's going to be a great event. So that'll be happening in April. Just look up goldcountryparacon.com. Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home.
That sounds like a really good time. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, like if you want to stay at a haunted Airbnb, Bethany's Home Sweet Haunted Home in Jackson, California, you can give that a shot.
Yeah, that is definitely got some activity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here.
I did my own podcast for a while, and nobody ever asked me to be on their podcast. I was like, what the hell? So you're like the first one. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you being here because I really love hearing about all your experiences that you've had, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And thank everybody else. Thank you guys for being here and watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm just going to go ahead and stop now, but thank you.
In the dark where the strange things flicker, Jennifer Hicks takes you in a little deeper.
Cryptids, UFO stories that chill, the truth's out there, and she's got the thrill. Welcome to creepy culture,
Where the unknown comes alive.